What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I appreciate you tuning in. I actually just finished a photo shoot, and I was talking to one of my clients on the shoot. We were talking about a man's need for validation. Now, this guy that I was working with, he's been in the whole pickup space. He's, trying to pick up women. He's paid for boot camps from various pickup artists, and you can tell he's just still not fulfilled. Now, he asked me the question, he's like, do you like being in a relationship? And I said, absolutely. I said, when it comes to, the pickup phase, which I think every man should go through a phase where he's, connecting and meeting different women, right? Because we all got to experience that at some point. But the whole pickup phase there's a lot of highs and lows. There's a lot of highs, you have a lot of good moments, but then you have a lot of bad moments. The girl doesn't message you. It just takes a lot of work to keep a girl attracted to you, especially at the initial phases of attraction. So the biggest benefit of being in a relationship is, you can relax more, right? You don't have to text the girl so much and invest so much. You just kind of have this sense of like everything's okay, right? So there's not as many highs, there's not as many lows, but there is this sense of kind of fulfillment that you feel for most of the time. And it's very hard to get your needs met when you're just meeting random girls every week. We have emotional needs, we have physical needs, we have social needs, right? And if you're by yourself, it's hard for you to meet your own needs. And that's what, being in a relationship is all about. It's having your needs met on a consistent basis, finding a girl that you really vibe with, not just physically, but also, on an emotional level as well, on an intellectual level. So that's very important. Now, what I've realized is that a lot of guys in the pickup space, their whole goal, and what they don't really realize, is that they're trying to fill this void of validation. When it comes to having sex with a girl, a lot of guys, they just want the validation that they get from sex. It's not the actual sex itself, because any man can, take care of himself if he wants to, right? But the validation you get from having sex with a girl, sex is the greatest form of validation a man can ever receive. So think about it this way. If you want to get with multiple women and you're in this whole pickup phase, it's totally okay. It's okay to do it for a short period of time, but it's not sustainable. And think about it this way, is that the void you're trying to fill is the void of validation. You want to get validation from that girl. And if you don't get validation, then you're going to feel really bad. When I was doing a lot of approaches and picking up girls 2 or 3 years ago, I would get so emotionally invested with the girl I was talking to, even if I had only talked to her for like a day, right? Or like after the date. I was so emotionally invested in her response that if she didn't text me back, or if it took longer for her to reply, it would drive me emotionally crazy. Now, why is that? That is because I craved that validation. I wasn't enough. I did not have my own cup full, so therefore I needed somebody to fill it for me. So what I'll say is that you have to find a way to meet your needs the best you can. Now, obviously, you're going to be happier in a relationship or getting your needs met consistently from a girl. But number one, you have to become your best friend. When you talk to yourself, you want to say positive things to yourself. If you're constantly beating yourself up all the time, you're going to have a low sense of self. You're going to have a low self-concept. Going back to the whole self-respect that we talked about the other day. If you respect yourself, if you're speaking kindly of yourself, you're going to have more confidence and more self-esteem. So if a girl doesn't give you that validation, it's totally okay, because you're getting the validation you want internally instead of from that girl. So don't be dependent on a girl's response. Who gives a shit, man? There's thousands of girls out there, right? Millions of girls out there. So don't get so enwrapped in one girl, because the thing that is bothering you and the thing that you're losing control over is not giving yourself validation. You're giving all of your control to that girl to determine if you feel validated or not. So be your best friend, build self-respect, build a life that you're passionate about, do things that you love, go to the gym, find a business that you really love to do, and just do it wholeheartedly, right? What you're gonna find is you're gonna feel a lot more fulfilled, and that, you know, when you are with the girl, it's okay to just be yourself. You don't need her. You don't need her validation. Now, the problem with wanting validation from a girl is you start to develop nice guy syndrome. You start to kiss up to her. You start to please her all the time so that she can give you validation. And this is a very toxic behavior. Women will resent you for this. So it's very important that you getting into a relationship, when you get into a relationship with a girl, you should have your own sense of self figured out, and you should be giving yourself your own validation and meeting your own needs. So think about that this week, and I'll catch you tomorrow for another video.